Warning.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio. 7 Mile Radio.
Hey.
Good afternoon. Good evening. It's after 5.
It's after 5.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it an evening?
Yeah, I would think so.
So what's afternoon?
Afternoon,
12
anywhere
o'clock.
between 12 and 3.
Yeah.
I would
After
say
2,
12 and 3.
But right then when it becomes evening.
5.
5.
So 3
After
to
5.
5.
So 12 to 5 is
So
afternoon.
night.
And then after 5 on 1 is evening.
So night is what, after 10?
I don't know, night was like
9.
9 o'clock.
9.
Night is 9
All right, we got 4 hours.
Before it's night. Hey, y'all.
Good evening.
As we got that cleared
Let
up.
me go ahead.
Oh, yeah. We go ahead and share that.
Right. Let me go ahead and make
Hey,
my...
y'all. Hey. Welcome.
Let me go ahead and make my its and my mentions.
Yeah. Happy Sunday.
Happy Mother Loving Sunday. I mean, it's happy, but I gotta go back to work tomorrow, so I'm like, ooh.
Ooh.
I'm like, blah, for real.
Oh, yeah. You got to go early.
Yeah, 4 a.m. I gotta be there. Okay, hey, y'all.
Mm-hmm. So how y'all doing?
Check in.
Check in. I know we all like, hold on.
We trying to listen. I feel discombobulated today. I ain't even gonna say.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. All right. All right. We've been live for a minute.
Discombobulated today. All right. All right. Hey,
All
everybody.
right. Hey, y'all. What's going
y'all
on?
doing?
This
I
week
feel
has.
super low. Is my mic low or am I just
I hear
talking
you.
low?
We hear
Okay.
you. I think I don't know. It's like a little mellow energy today.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So that's what
it's
it
a
is.
little mellow.
The rain, the weather.
Yeah. It's
It's
a
really
good.
just
Get
lay
me in the house.
Yeah. Later.
in the bed.
Later. Watching movies. Scary
Watching movies.
Ooh, I
That's
like
what
scary
my son just was saying. He was like, when we get home from the grocery store, he was like, okay, now time for some movies. I was like,
And a good
Like it's
meal.
that warm, yeah,
Right.
that warm
yeah,
Just
energy.
That energy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So how was y'all week? I can go first.
Yes.
My week
go
was
first.
good. It was cool. Was it a shortened week for me? No, I didn't really have a lot of clients this week. A lot of people, I don't know, people was on the same page a bit this week with cancellations and things like that. But that's cool. I mean, I always take the time to take some hours off and be good. I still get paid either way. Like,
That's cool.
like,
They
that's
show
cool.
or
This
not.
is when you show it now.
I
Like,
get a
yeah.
job like that.
Yeah.
I get paid whether I do it or not.
Either way.
is
But
true.
no, my week has been good. My trip was good to see my sisters. And my niece, blessing her birthday. We were celebrating her birthday, so it was really cool. Anytime I'm around my sisters is
Beautiful.
yeah, it's pretty it's pretty healing. And then these are the ones those are my older sisters. So I have 5 older sisters and 1 younger sister.
Okay.
And so anytime I'm around my older sisters, I get to feel like a little sister. I don't know. I mean, if you've ever felt that, like we like to be a little sister, because I grew up with my younger sister. And I didn't meet my older sisters until down the line, since I was an adult.
Okay.
And so I've always been a big sister.
Yeah.
I've been a big sister, and even sometimes being portrayed as a big sister, even with my older brother.
Okay.
You know, just because I was smart. You know.
So you was looked at
As the older
sister.
sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it was good. It was good. It was real healing. On my way back, I got a speeding ticket on the way back.
Oh my God.
I was trying to get up out of there, so I was.
What was the speed limit?
Listen. Speaking of, that's my brother. Hold on, let me hang up on there. He can't come back. So the officer pulled me over, and he was like, "You know how fast you was going?" And I was like, 80. And he was like, "Nah, 86." But I was really going 92, y'all.
You said,
I said,
you said just to be on the
I didn't want to push it too fast.
fast.
I don't want to push it too fast and say I was going 70, because that would have been a big lie right
Yeah,
there.
like,
So I was like
I'm at
80. And he ended up, he got me for, he wrote it for 79 though.
Okay.
Because the speed limit on this highway,
Was 50.
girl, was 65, going going through New York and Pennsylvania and Ohio and stuff. 65? Like, no, make that higher than that.
We ready to go, huh?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. But no, week was good. It was good. How about y'all?
What did I do? I had a busy work week.
Okay.
Like, it was really busy. That was like last week was my first week like doing official like office manager.
Yeah, you got that
position.
promotion.
Where the claps at? Come on.
He gave me guns. Oh my god! Damn, you shooting me?
No, not that.
It's like, okay.
No,
that could be celebratory too, I guess. You know, people be shooting off guns.
New Year's. Happy New Year.
Happy New Day.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was
Okay.
a really, really busy week, and I was tired. I really wanted to go out Friday. I did. It was nice. It was different. It was different. I didn't end up getting out on Saturday. I had a kid, and I was with the family, so that was cool. Now I'm here. So it's just been like a real like low energy week for me. But yeah, it's now to work tomorrow and. I don't want to go, but yeah, it's Monday.
It's Monday.
Yeah, Monday through Friday.
Monday.
Oh, my week, baby. I'm still trying to recover. Okay, it was busy. It was real busy. Addie won the Artist Award Thursday for her school district. Ava. Okay.
The audience, everybody in the background, like.
But Ava went to her daddy-daughter dance.
Okay.
And that was hectic. It was like prom or something. I had to hurry up here. I had to do a make show. And shout out to my brother Brian. He definitely pulled
I like that they do those.
He pulled that.
That's
He did
important
that.
to do. That's a memory shit have for
A core
forever.
memory for
Most
sure. And
definitely.
I let him know that. I'm like, yeah.
Shout
you
out
made
to the
your-
school for setting that up. That's
Yeah, but shout out to Ebony. She did my baby hair just how she wanted it. And two
She was
puff
real
bar.
cute.
Yeah, she
She
was
was
just
really
so
cute.
pretty, so pretty. And then my car acting up, y'all. Listen, you know how we had up these. My stress is stressing. This that week for me. My
Yeah, that's
stress
your
has
stress.
been
I
stressing.
said it was like a low energy
Yeah,
week.
my stress has been stressing, but I'm still here. I'm fighting through, pulling through. You know. Hey y'all.
Hey. Hey, y'all. Hey. Hey, Mark.
Hey.
What's going on?
What's up, sir?
What's happening?
Hey, what's up with you?
Nothing much. What did I do this week? Shit. We ran into Nazai Harris's mother.
I saw you post that.
So
Yeah.
that was an interesting conversation that we had with her. You know what I'm saying? And just trying to get to the bottom of this story still. You know what I mean? Still information floating around, and Jarvis's court date is coming up. It's supposed to be a big protest on, I believe, the 9th, if I'm not mistaken.
They
this
protesting?
month. Yeah, they're protesting at the courthouse. Yeah, we went out there the other morning to protest at the courthouse. So, the next one's going to be there. They told me to promote more to get more people out.
So
there,
the protest is against him or protest for like what's the protest?
just protesting outside the courthouse to raise awareness about him being in there and her being missing.
Oh,
still.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
So that's pretty much what that is.
So it's kind of pretty much like y'all need to get him.
Yeah,
Y'all
yeah,
need to
yeah,
keep him.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Other than that, getting ready for the traffic jam, get the tickets and stuff for that for tomorrow. And something else that I feel like I'm forgetting, but yeah, I don't want to hold y'all up.
Okay. Go. So what's been going on? So getting into our topic today, y'all been listening to Drake, Kendrick, or whoever else is
shit.
beef. Yeah, y'all been.
I've heard little pinches of a little beef. Like I remember I seen something about Young Miami and JT,
Chris Brown.
and it's
What Quavo? He was,
yeah.
yeah.
Something about the girl or something. I don't know.
What girl?
I don't know. Somebody.
Each of them dated each other ex or something.
Oh
like that.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. I
A lot
really
of
don't.
just a lot of words being spit out here. A lot of things being said. Well, I don't know too much about JT and who else? Miami.
Yeah,
they-
Miami.
Okay.
I just saw like a quick little thing about I guess Young Miami not supporting her.
Okay.
Like she should or claim to be as being a friend.
Okay.
Or
One they
It
in a
was just
group
that.
together though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So they still.
They were friends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were friends.
they were
So is there
friends.
still
But like
city
JT
girls?
always supported her. Like in the midst of her not, she always pushed her music, just Young Miami music. But when it came to JT turn, I guess my Young Miami like shit. I'm not supporting you. I don't know. I saw a little bit of that, but as far as the other ones, I haven't really
Yeah, a lot of stuff like in these spaces with like the celebrities and things like that. When there is conflict or beef or whatever, it just makes for good entertainment.
Yeah. And
A
then you
lot of
don't
time.
hear about it till you was like, whoa, what the fuck? How did
Yeah.
that happen? Or,
Yeah.
how long did it take for it to get there? Like,
Yeah.
it just be like, boom, or somebody dead, or somebody dropping a diss. And it's just like, damn,
Yeah.
it's very secretive what you hear from those.
Most definitely.
Like, when it comes to celebrities. So.
Right. So that's what brings us into our topics today. It was
Yes.
alignment. It's a lot of beef that's been
It's a
happening
lot of beef going
this
on.
week. I have been enjoying it, specifically with Kendrick and Drake. But like that kind of fueled us into like what we're talking about today. So just continuing our lifting the rug series.
Yes.
We started a couple weeks ago, where we're just uncovering and really talking about things that we don't talk about, like that we do put
Conflict.
under the rug, and conflict
Yeah.
being a big part of it, big one of so definitely. So how y'all usually handle conflict? Are y'all Drake? Are y'all Kendrick? Are y'all J. Cole and Bob?
I mean, I can't really compare myself to them because I'm not really.
No, I'm saying as far as like responses to it. So
I don't know their responses to it. So all I'm
So
saying-
some people. So I'm saying that and say like some people really run head on to conflict. Some people are avoiding of it. Some people get real like nasty with it and like really try to like really hurt somebody because they feel So how do you usually handle conflict?
So I feel like it's different levels of conflict. Like it's certain levels to where it'll be that type of conflict to where it's like it's pointless for me to address it. It's like, all right, whatever. Like it's there. Leave that energy there. Keep it there. You know what I'm saying? But then it's us also the conflict where it's like, okay, well, why is this? Like what's going on to where I want to address it and say, hey, what is the actual issue? So that we can have an opportunity to fix it or to something. Versus, so I feel like it's different, but me, I try my hardest, and I understand, and I'm understanding that everybody don't have that same, to conflict. Like some people,
So to
might
be like so direct with it, they don't.
like some people might need that moment to relax and chill before they had that conversation. As in, like me, I want to know why before anything. So it'd be like, okay, just tell me why. What did I do, or if it's something that I can do when it comes to conflict.
You want to like figure it out and solve it.
Or at least I just want to understand why.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, right now I'm in the whole little situation. But even with that, it's like I addressed my concern about it. I said, okay, for example, if it's the miscommunication, if that's that, like, okay, well, we had miscommunication, but this is what I'm explaining to you now. So now you understand how I felt or how I feel, but to do the same thing is like I'm trying to. This conflict is like, where is it going? Because I'm expressing my part, but it's like, what is your part? Are you doing your part? To seize it, but it's like I don't know, it's stuck.
Yeah.
I really feel like it's kind of at a stuck point to where I'm still just like, yeah, this week my stress was stressing.
Stressing. You said that like some conflict is like, oh, it don't matter. Like don't
Yeah,
leave
like
that
some
alone.
conflict-
You don't address. So what would qualify as a conflict that'd be like?
So like I am in that as well. Okay. I am in that as well. But it's like in certain levels, it's past the conflict point, like lying to me.
Yeah, the level
That's
of
past.
disrespect.
That's why I
the
said it's
level
different levels, because that type of conflict is like it's nothing we can talk about because I don't trust you. I don't trust nothing that come out your mouth.
So you just don't address
So
it
it's
all because
pointless.
it's already pointless.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
pointless because it's like
So that
that's
sounds like
waste
it's already
energy.
at an extreme.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's why I'm like it's the different levels. It's that point
Okay.
to where I want to get to it, and it's point to where it's like fuck it, like
Okay.
it is what it is.
Me with conflict, like, because I go off like vibes and things, like I tend to more so like shut down. If I don't address it right away, it's because I'm trying to gauge it, like gauge the temperature of it. Like, is it worth saying something? Is it even worth continuing this? You know what I'm saying? So I just shut down until I can get my thoughts like all the way together. Because if I react, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times I might say something or do something, and that's not how I'm truly feeling, but it's based off emotions. So I have to take a second with conflicts and just like pause, like just really shut down before, so I don't like facing them head on.
Okay.
You know, because I feel like I'm in the box. You putting me, you know, and I don't like to be like backed into a corner.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I don't address like conflict, and then when I do, sometimes, which can be a problem sometimes because it grows or it's unknown. You know, it's left unknown.
Because I was going to ask you, you say you take a pause, but do you take a pause and then go back and then address
Sometimes,
it?
and sometimes I
Okay.
forget to go back.
So that pause lasted a little too long.
You know, that's just fault for me. Sometimes it's just like, okay, but it's just like, I just leave it where it's at. And then it's like, if sometimes wondering or the unknown, like if I address it, would it become a bigger issue than what it already is with it nothing being said?
Yeah.
And so I have that battle within myself. So, and then it depends on like if that person is worthy of a conversation. You know, like Brooke said, like some shit is like some conflict. You be like, all right, I don't give a fuck. You know, whether we was to talk or not. Like somebody hit me with something earlier. Like I'ma text you one more time and then I'ma assume. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't want to talk. You know what I'm saying? And if I wasn't responding, obviously I didn't want to
Clearly,
talk.
yeah.
But I'm not going to let you assume. You know, I'm going, since you gave me an ultimatum, I said, you ain't got to assume shit. Nigga, I don't fuck
It is
with
what
you.
it is.
Nigga,
Yeah.
I don't fuck with you. So
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck whether you was a text back or not. Like, then I have to block them. But it's like shit like that. If I wasn't responding, obviously I didn't care. And then you're going to text me like, text you one more time. Then I'm gonna assume.
You trying to have the upper hand, and that's
Right.
crazy.
You
You trying to
tryna-
say, like,
Then
yeah,
I'm gonna assume, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, yeah, you ain't gotta assume shit, nigga. I don't fuck with
it
you.
is what it is.
Say, that's how you wanted it. You
Look,
wanted it.
I don't fuck
raw.
with you.
Here you
Like,
go.
Yeah, here you go.
Here you
Well,
go.
I'm J. Cole with conflict.
Okay.
I'm like, so you guys don't know. So in the J. Cole did it, but then like stepped out and was like, that ain't me. Like, you know, that ain't how I am. So he just like stepped out of it. So like perception of it can be like different ways of like, you know, for me, I'm trying to prevent it because I don't like it. Right. Like, and I don't want to be in a space of like avoidance of it, but that happens sometimes too. Like, and sometimes it's not necessarily just like avoidance in regards to like, you know, I don't want to deal with it, but it's just uncomfortable.
It's
right?
your way
Like,
of being proactive to prevent
Yeah.
it from allowing you to being reactive to it.
yeah, so because if I do like if I am into it, and especially if it's with an individual or somebody who don't know how to handle conflict either, and it goes to a point of like
No
it's just
return.
dysfunction.
It can
Yeah.
spiral out of control
I can be
real easy.
Kendrick. I can do that, right? And then I would revert back to being
Cole.
J. Cole because I feel bad
Yeah.
afterwards because I don't
it
want
didn't
to
have
be
to
that.
go there.
I don't
You
want to
didn't
be
want
that
it.
person.
It just
Yeah,
didn't
that's
have to
not.
go there. Yeah.
I remember the
I
first
can,
time.
I can relate with that.
Yeah.
In some circumstances, sometimes motherfuckers deserve it.
Yeah, and some circumstances, but I haven't gotten to the motherfuckers who deserve it.
Like I said, you ain't gotta assume
Yeah,
shit.
like,
motherfucker.
I got to that. I remember when I was younger with my brother, and I don't know what what the conflict was, but we was on the front porch fighting.
Y'all
Like
just
fighting. I was throwing chairs at them. I was cussing them out and all of this stuff and everything. And then they ended. And I remember maybe like a moment or like it wasn't even an hour later. I felt so stupid. And I did not like the way that felt. I didn't like the feeling. And I went and apologized to my brother afterwards.
Why
so
did you feel stupid? The
I don't
fight was
know.
pointless, or you didn't remember what you were fighting about?
it was the
or-
same day. So I'm guessing I remember what we were fighting about. I just didn't feel like.
Bad about having that level
Yeah,
of conflict.
yeah.
Like, we could have
it was
handled it
yeah,
differently.
it's like it could have been different.
Yeah, we coulda
in
handled it
hindsight,
differently.
Right, though, what you would probably been thinking about in that moment was how for lack of a better word for explaining it, what I would have felt if I would have just backed down and let him. You know,
A pause.
have it,
Yeah.
you know
Took
what
a
I'm saying?
second.
So it's,
Yeah.
like, a pro
Yeah.
and con of me feeling hold by being J. Cole in the beginning,
Yeah.
or being Kendrick and then feeling bad about it later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like that's the empath in you. Like, no man, you damned if you do and damned
It
if you
is.
don't.
It is definitely. I think that's probably what came in that space because I know like my brother was feeling some type of way, and we both feeling some type, and I didn't like that energy.
Yeah.
that was there with it. But again, there is the pros and cons of that of being proactive. It also it seems like a bit avoidant as well. So you know, I would find myself two, as being a recovering people pleaser, filtering a lot of myself a lot of times in order
And
to
then
prevent conflict.
you don't want people, because a lot of times when you take that J. Cole role, that person feel like they won.
Yep.
Right? And you don't
Yep.
want them to feel like they won. So I gotta Kendrick your ass so you know
Just
that
to
you
show
can
you.
win.
Just to
And
show you.
then-
Hey,
and
I
then
got
I gotta
that.
come
I
back
got
and
that
be
same.
cold and shit like that. You know what I mean? Now don't let me don't make me whoop your ass again.
Definitely,
It's
definitely.
gonna hurt me more than it hurts
Definitely.
you type shit. Definitely.
And that's the other thing too in conflict for me. I'm a cry.
I cry too.
I'm a cry.
Because my feelings be hurt easily.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm mad.
I'm a
like,
cry.
that's why we got a problem, because you hurt my feelings.
I'm a cry.
You know what's crazy is I'm not a crier.
I'm a crier.
Like I think no, and some crazy shit though, but for real, it's like I cry during that moment, like of like, say it get to a level to where the conflict ends into an argument.
You'll
Like
cry.
that's
That's
when
what
I
I'm
cry.
crying. That's what I'm crying too.
Yeah, but I'm
crying
saying like
during that.
during that process, it's like a okay.
No, even
Like,
when
it's
I'm
like,
Your
processing-
emotions peak and
Yeah, I'm
and
crying.
Yeah,
erupting
even when I'm
and shit.
processing my emotions or thinking about like having the conversation before I actually have, I be sitting there and a tear might fall because it be like, damn, like, all right, I care about this person. This conversation.
Why
needs
are
to
we
go
here?
this
It's
way.
hurting my
Yeah.
feelings that
You know what I'm
we're here.
saying? Yeah, and so
Like,
yeah,
how
I'm
did
crying.
this happen?
And even afterwards, while I'm yelling at you, I've been yelling bitches, still crying like, fuck you, man. I don't give a fuck, giving a fuck because I'm crying. Like,
But just even trying to explain, like, I'm not sad.
like I'm not.
I'm not.
People that see them tears and your
And they think
emotions,
they
like,
assume
oh,
that.
you sad
You
about
assume
it.
that. Yeah,
So
no.
I got you. No,
No,
you ain't got me. I'm
yeah.
mad, and to avoid knocking you out and shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna just let these emotions, cause something gotta give. We gotta be a release somewhere.
Yeah, I was taught how to make sure I don't cry.
Hmm.
Like as a kid, you know, like when I had a situation, my mom used to always be gone, and she'll come back, and we'll be happy, and she'll leave, and we'll cry.
Mm-hmm.
And then my brother was like, "Okay, you crying, but she's still gonna leave, and that's not gonna make her come back." So now we gotta figure out something else. So it got
that's
to a
not
point.
solvent to this.
It got to a
problem.
point to where it was like, I'm just gonna enjoy you while you're here because I know you're gonna leave. So I'm gonna enjoy you, and then it's like, okay, she gone now. You know, we back.
Yeah.
So it gets to a certain level for me to cry, like really, really cry. Like I had to learn that over the years, how to just let myself go, to be emotional.
And then me with conflict with people who I'm not emotionally attached to, my first instinct is to fight. Like I just want to fight. I don't want to sit here and argue with you back and forth and talk about our dislike. I feel like we can go outside, we can fight, we can go back in, we can hold hands by each other.
So I can't do that.
See, mine is
can't.
all that shit. I need to fight.
Mine is with people I don't know. Mine is the that it's pet that don't matter. Like there is some conflict that just I can walk away from you. Like you don't know, you have no like
I got
anything on my
those too,
life.
but
like
I still be wanting to fight.
like
Yeah, you're
like,
a fighter.
to me.
Yeah, you're a fighter. Yeah,
Like,
but it doesn't matter to me. Like it's like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna see you again. You have no bearing on my life.
Yeah.
You can't nothing. You can
that's why
just
I
don't touch. I will fight if you
shut
touch
down.
me.
That's why I'm like, shit, I can't do what I
See,
want
with
to do.
people I don't
so
know,
I'ma just shut
that's
down.
when I
Yeah.
just be like, it's pointless.
Yeah,
Like,
like, that's
it's
just pointless, yeah.
When I get to the point of it's a certain level of conflict to where I'm very hurt, or you do something like lying to me, yes, I want to fight now. I deserve to beat your ass, but I'm a changed person. Okay,
Like, it's only
I am
right.
changed.
But what is
But
that? Better
I do.
understand this.
But yes, but the thing is, like,
I
you know
should
how.
be beating your ass.
But you know how you put all your work into something?
Yeah.
Imagine you working a job, you putting all your work into it, and you don't get your check.
You're gonna return
You
it
like,
over.
hold on.
Yeah,
Nigga,
that just-
I don't want to cry. I want to scrap. Like, run me my money, run me my ones. So, in a lot of situations, like, a lot of friends that I had to get rid of, I end up beating them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bullshit you not,
We know.
because the conflict always ended to
Yeah.
that point because I try my hardest 100% to be 100 to you as a friend. And like I said, I had to go to therapy and realize the reason why I did that is because I had this obsession with wanting a sister because I don't have one. I'm the only girl. And I allow certain things. I ignored certain red flags, and I was this person, and I expected that person to be that for me. And when I realized, like, damn, bitch, like, you really? Like, damn, you not even who you say you was.
Yeah.
So technically, I'm not really beating a person I don't know what. I'm beating
Me with friends, I'm sorry. Me with friends who I like falling out with, like, nah, I just cut the communication because it's like I still got love for you, so I don't want to put my hands on you, but it's just like yeah, I won't fuck with you, right? So I don't wish nothing bad and nothing on you. It's just like, I'm just not gonna fuck with you, out of sight, out of mind type shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna fake it and be like, hey, you know, it's not that. It's just, you know, it's no beef, but it's beef. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you go back to that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I always just like isolated myself before I got to the point where like, we're gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? Because there's still some love there. It's just like, I lost respect. And it's,
I'm growing.
I'm
y'all.
only fight. I'm
trying.
only fighting if somebody put their hands on me. Like that's the only way that I fight. Like if you hit me like that, like yeah, we'll fight. But I usually like in those points, like especially with people I don't know or like getting to those points, I think I get to a space where I just I know I can use my words a bit better
And words just
and
Words
I can say some things
Some hurtful
and I can and I've been, because all this time I've been filtering in this place, so some things I hadn't said, and so now this stuff is going to come out and it's going to hurt your feelings, the things that I say, because I'm going to say it in a way like Kendrick.
And that's like, we were talking earlier about everybody coming out with the P. Diddy shit. Like how people are starting to expose because, oh, now you hurt me. Now I'm about to say this. Oh, now I'm about to hurt you. Now I'm about to expose you for who you are.
Let's talk about that a bit. So, because we're talking about lifting the rug and like conflict in the family, and how like conflict was handled. And we brought that up earlier about like, with Kendrick saying about like Drake being, a groomer or whatever. It's interesting that like if people know information about somebody or what's going on in the family and like these traumas and these issues are going on, and you don't come out till they're mad. They don't come out until like they hurt you or they affected you.
But you knew.
But you knew.
Yeah,
But you knew.
You only was upset and you only got hurt when it affected you.
So does that make the person that's exposing it just as bad as the person that has committed the situation?
Because you knew,
Yes.
you had
Yes.
valuable
For sure.
information that could have changed.
That could have helped.
Could have helped,
anything,
and you kept it. You know what I'm saying? So you just as bad, and you used it not to expose, but you used it for your benefit. You know what I'm saying? Because you wanted to hurt.
You just wanted to hurt. You didn't want to actually hurt.
It wasn't genuine because you felt like what they was doing was
I
wrong.
wouldn't respect it
That's
like
because they
that.
wronged you.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why
you.
something is said, or that's the only reason you want something is done.
And that's when that's the moments where everything get thrown in your face. Like, this and that. And it's like, nah. But then
So
it's
you
like,
felt like
even,
this all along.
Yeah, because and like even when I had my situation, like I said earlier, I like to address stuff. So it's like, come on, let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And when I had that conversation with this particular person, instead of us actually having a conversation, it was just like, well, you, and I'm like, well, tell me what I did, because you just not saying it. Tell me what I did. I'm telling you what you doing now. Tell me what I did, and couldn't have been said, because it's like, just because you got heat on you, now you trying to, reuse that reverse psychology or whatever it is, instead of actually addressing the issue.
Yeah.
My thing is, anybody and everybody who has done something to me or hurt me in a way, I've always said something about it. I've always. But it's like, when I find out one thing, you find out something at once, you be like, yo, loyalty, where is it at? So that conflict right there, that's when you just gotta, you gotta leave it be.
Yeah. So we was talking about like even in relation to like how conflict is handled in the family. We were talking about like, we don't say anything until somebody hurt us. And I was talking earlier and then saying I remember a time when I was over at my family's house, and I don't know, it was a holiday or something, but like most of the family, we all over there, and one of my cousins, baby daddy came like just wilding, just being the most reckless, just kind of threatening in a sense. And so, all of us in there, and my male cousins being male cousins, like they being like about to be cousins, like chill. They about to go outside, they about to go talk to them, and then I remember my aunt telling them and said, "Don't do that. They ain't got nothing to do with you." And I was like, "What? Family. But your whole family is here. Right. Like, what do you mean?" So like even with like when we were talking about trauma the last time, and like things that are being hidden and pushed under the rug, that's that. Where it's like that don't have nothing to do with you over there.
Mind
like
your
mind your
business.
like this is like, so
What happens in this house stays
go
in
back to
this house.
that. Go back to that.
But it's
And
like,
not
when do
speaking
you
up
not
on
mind
it.
your business?
Yeah, and not speaking up on it.
And another conflict when it comes to family is left unaddressed because they don't want you, or they don't want to be seen like, the person seem like that, so you want to like look a certain type of way or shit to be seen a certain way, so you're not addressing it, you're not saying nothing, but you know.
But you know.
But then when it come out, you be the first one. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I knew it, and the first one this
that
and
too.
that. You know,
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah. If you knew, why
That
not?
was when I went
If
through
you
the
know,
whole
why not?
abusive situation with my dad in Germany, where I was rendered to the point where looking at him like, okay, so it's okay to lie for you, but it's not okay to lie to you. In regards to keeping secrets of what's going on in the house and shit. You know what I'm saying? I can lie for you and keep the shit that's going on secret and shit, but lying to you, like I got to tell you the truth about everything on. Yeah, so that's another part of the whole. Some abuse, basically.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
So how was conflict handled in you guys' home? Like, what was you
So
witnessed? What was that looking like?
and so I lived in a few homes.
Okay.
So conflict with my aunt was very peaceful. I think she was the one that's probably where I got it from. Like, no, let's talk about it. Let's you know, that's how she used to do it with me. Like, okay, what's going on? Let's sit down. Let's talk. How can we fix this? What can we do? Like, to pretty much seize that, to get rid of the conflict. Versus my mom, it was just nothing. It was like it was no conflict to be taught. You know what I'm saying? Because she wasn't there.
Okay.
So it was just like the conflict between me and my brothers. It was literally like rock, paper, scissors. All right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was literally when we was disagreeing or having a conflict. It was like rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Whoever win, okay, we just doing that way because we have to survive. We got to keep going, you know. So when it came to, and I think that's why a lot of when they get to that point, I, like Alicia said, I do get into that fighting mode where it's like, I just beat your ass. Like, but, you know, as I'm learning.
Yeah.
So I'm still learning how to deal with conflict right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still learning.
I don't know. Conflict with me and my household. Well, with me, I was always like a fighter, even with like. So I had like this attitude with my parents. Like, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say because you're gonna whip me anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I might as well say how I feel because I'm gonna get a whooping anyways, and I'm gonna take it. So we got beatings. You know what I'm saying? So I was still like defiant and still, you know, had this phase where I'm gonna do. And
what about the conflict between your parents? What did that look like? How did they show that in front of you? How they handle conflict?
Yeah, they argue. They showed tension in front of us. Like, we knew, we could see, you know, through it. We can hear it. You know what I'm saying? We can tell when they wasn't on one accord, you know. Yeah. So it's like you can feel that. And even like being back and forth with my biological mom and, you know, back and forth to my dad's house, like both houses, you can feel conflict. A lot of stuff don't be said, and you just attitudes and tension and vibes. Attitudes and vibes. Just a bunch of attitudes, tension, and vibes. You know, you don't know why this person mad or why this person feel this way about you because things are left unaddressed. You know, and that was the issue. Like with conflict in my family, things was left unsaid, so it wasn't addressed, and it just built and built and built. And then finally, when it was addressed, it's a big ass blowout. It's a lot of pointing. It's a lot of this because of this, and a lot of deflecting. Yeah. You know, nobody want to take ownership of the actions. You know, it's just where this is deflected. And so that caused me like to lash out. So in like my adulthood or even going to school, it was like, no, you gonna hear me or you gonna feel me. One or the other. Like, you ain't all that hushing and shushing me. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. And so like even how I am in life now, like, you're not gonna shush me. I shush myself first. Like, I quiet myself before, you know, I tend to react now. And that's not for their benefit, it's for mine, you know. So I won't do nothing life changing. Right. But it was just like growing up, it was just you had to hold it in and bottle it in. And so when I got intense, I exploded, and that's with everything. And so if I said something to somebody, if I'm in a conflict with somebody, I'm already at a level 10. It's already explosive. You know what I'm saying? I'm already here, and so we're not having a conversation, you know. And so trying to do it a little differently now, but yeah. Okay.
Well, mine was mixed. It was a mixture. Mine's I had a passive aggressive mother, and aggressive dad. I'm trying to like put him in the space or whatever, but it was similar to that. Like, things unsaid, especially with my mom. Like, you just this vibes and energy. You know she mad. You know she like irritated with this and just grumbling and sighing and happy and like things like that. Yeah. Or she could become aggressive. It was a lot of yelling. A lot of yelling in the house, and the kids on the street used to think my mom was mean, like she was the mean lady on the street. My mom is sweet as pie. Like I thought she was mean when I was coming up too, but she was unhappy a lot of it. So that that's what came off. So the vibes and the energy, and my dad, narcissist. So nothing is his fault. Everything is deflected. Everything is blamed on. Yeah. So it's not like So the conflict couldn't happen because he not a part of it. Like I ain't part. This is on you. It's you. You the one that got the problem. Why you come to me? It's bothering you. It's bothering you. Yeah,
I'm not bothered.
I'm not bothered. I'm good. Right. So I think that's what led me or got me into a space of like really trying to be proactive, because I didn't want to be in a space where I'm just grumbling and mumbling about it, and then I didn't want to be in this space where my dad. So I'm like, okay, if I can see it beforehand, do it. And also like that's that people pleasing. Again, I'm a recovering people pleaser. That people pleasing part that's in there too for me, especially because of my dad, because of experiences that I had growing up with him being aggressive in this conflict and how he chose to handle conflict. But yeah, it wasn't really like a good teaching.
Because I bottled it up. I was angry all the time, and so it's like I came across as this angry person, and so it fit the narrative like, oh, she's just angry, or she's just acting out, and it was just like, because it was really no release to really talk back then, or it's like, or the person you talk to is going to be all over the church, or it's going to be all over the school, or it's going to be all over the neighborhood, or your parents going to find out, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't really no safety net, because everybody felt like, they were helping by taking your concerns or your issues straight to the source or straight to the parents, and so like it was just like a lot of, you see what's going on, but choosing to look the other way because you don't want the conflict behind, you're saying something or you speaking out, you don't want the lash out, you avoided it, and so you didn't say anything. So.
But stuff, that church thing, you was you just like where it's gonna be all over the church. It's
gonna be all
everybody and like grandma it's gonna be at the other church.
Everybody in the church become auntie. Everybody like, especially when I grew up, everybody was over our house, cooked and everything. We cooked. My mom cooked like every Sunday, and I had to do the dishes, and that was like one of my pet peeves is having to do the dishes on all these people. And I remember I had made a smart comment to her, like some like paper plates, or they gonna be in there cleaning up their own shit. Like everybody wash the plate, everybody clean the fork. You know what I'm saying? Everybody do this because it was like that responsibility. I knew all these people's gonna be here, they're gonna eat, and I gotta do all these dishes. I gotta stay up, so I was mad. So I remember saying something smart about it and got mad, like, why do everybody gotta come over here? Like, it's different houses on Sunday. Like, stop coming over here. Like, as a kid, but it was just like something you had to deal with. Like, I didn't want to deal with it, and I wanted that heard and known. So it's just, I was always like looked at as a problem starter because I'm gonna say it
because you had a voice.
Yeah,
you created one.
I created one because it was like what I needed to be seen wasn't seen. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna speak out in this way because you're choosing to look the other way, so it's like I created my own voice, and that's why I don't deal with conflict like that, because I just be ready
to nut.
Yeah, be ready to nut.
When you said that, like speaking up, like feeling like that you were able to speak up, I think that's important. Like even with our kids and teaching our kids about how to handle conflict. So like my son, I have to let him know that conflict is okay. Cause anytime, like if he see like me and his dad, like if we like, have a disagreement about something, our tone might change a bit. We might like, go back and forth, but we're not like arguing hard. Like, we're just like, we had some disagreement about something. You said you didn't, I said it, whatever. And my son would be like, stop it. Stop fighting. And I'm like,
we're not fighting.
We're not like, and that's why I have to let him know, like, it's okay. People have disagreements. It's gonna be conflict. We love each other, right? Like, but it's just it's not gonna change that. But we're okay. It's okay, because he's always been like that since he was even younger, and he would come in between. Stop! No fighting. Like So I think it's important, like how we show up for our kids, and like how we're handling conflict as well, and what we're teaching them, and their voice. And I think that was, even though it like in your space, it probably was seen as defiant or something. Probably, but I think that was good that you were able to recognize like okay, I still got a voice here and I can say something even though it might not be heard. You know, because when I was young, I remember only one time like speaking up or saying something. Well, no, not one time. I'm lying. It was a couple times. Just like really being direct. Because I remember one time, my mom and my dad was arguing, and I don't know what they were arguing about, but in true like narcissist fashion, my dad was like, I was crying, and he like, you see what you did? You done made her cry, yeah. And I was like, nah, it's both of y'all. And I said something to him like, no, it's both of y'all. Blah 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 blah. And then I remember I think I was like 16, and I was dating this boy who had to go to boot camp. And my mom was like, you know, Christian church, you just throwing your life away with blah blah blah. Because I was writing him a letter. I was writing him a letter. You doing this? And then I turned to her and was like, just like you are with my daddy, like you know how to like. And she was just like, it's like.
Excuse me.
She didn't say nothing. But like just in those spaces of knowing like you have a voice, even though I shouldn't have said it like that. Of course, like looking back,
said it different.
Looking back, as I was, you know, being a smart ass teenager, you know, at that time, and it could have been more sensitive about it in regards to like, you know, expressing it to her. But she probably like she know, you know, I gotta bring that out to her or whatever.
Or is it something that she needed to hear? Granted.
She knew she didn't need to hear it. She didn't need to hear it. No, she didn't need to hear that. It was very clear she knew it is not what she wanted.
That's why she reacted the way she did.
Yeah, she didn't say anything. She didn't say anything. But it was opposite of my sister, who like had a voice all the time. Like she not gonna nope. Like she gonna tell you about this stuff. I told you she said she was gonna burn the house down. Like you gonna get out of here and burn the house down. You know. But I think that's really important. Just saying all that to say like for our kids too, to make sure that. You know, so how
that they know
I'm learning.
They know they have a voice.
I'm still learning because I've definitely raised my children on having a voice, and sometimes I feel like it's too much of a voice. Okay,
so slow down a little.
Bit.
So what do you mean too much of a voice?
Like I teach my kids to express themselves, like how you feel, you know. But I guess I'm still working on teaching them how to go about that.
Okay,
it's because like I know. My daughter feels some type of way. Like the conflict right now is, you know, I know she feels some type of way. She's expressed that. This belong to me. And it's like, I understand, like, you can feel jealous or you can be, you know, in that situation. But it's like now as a parent, it's like, I want to please her still though. Like, because she has a right to feel how she feel because of circumstances. So it's like, how do I don't know.
How you navigate that with her?
Yeah, like how do I navigate? And it's like I can't just say, you know, you're wrong.
Or control her feelings.
Yeah, I can't just say that you're wrong in this, but it's like I have to say it to in a way like how can I like just change it, like change how she say it or how she view it. But it's like having that conversation where you know I have to have another one with her. Yeah. But when it comes to talking too much, like my baby, she gonna just say, she gonna say you stink, you're funny looking, whatever. Like and it's like, okay, you can express yourself, but tell mommy first.
I think that's the thing with conflict. Like I think that we tie a lot of it to, you know, like the behavior piece of it versus like the feeling part. And so even for like, you know, your daughter to like telling her she's wrong, like. Yeah, behavior wise, that may not have been the best option or response for you to do in this conflict, but your feelings are valid, right? Like your feelings are valid, and there's a different alternative ways of being able to express it. And I think if we made really that clarity, a lot of times we would, you know, not be so avoidant of conflict. You know, we wouldn't be able to handle it a little better because when we get into conflict, and if we're only paying attention to these behaviors, and we like tend to identify a person by their behavior, right? And people aren't their behavior, right? Like their behaviors are usually just a result of something else, a result of a thought, a result of experience, result of a feeling that you may have. And if you're associating somebody's behavior with their identity, then of course they're going to become defensive. When we have this conflict, because because now now my identity is coming into question.
Yeah.
You already got this prejudgment.
Yeah. So if we just like really highlight it in that space of like, okay, like, you know, your feelings are valid, but where are you going about it?
Well, I'm gonna have a conversation with her. I am, you know, and like I've been saying all day, like this parenting, this is, you know, we learning. We still learning. Every day you learn something new, and I'm still learning something from my children, and I'm learning how.
My son know he got a voice. Jamal is
he do.
You know, you know Jamal, like he talks back, like, and it's not like I be like, stop talking back, stop this, but he got a response to everything. And you know, some stuff be valid, like why this, or why I gotta do this, or why this, or you know, I was sitting on the couch and I asked him, I think to grab my phone for the remote or something. It was granted it was sitting next to me, you know. I'm thinking, because he my kid, and I told him to do something, just go do it. I don't need to get no lip. And he came back like, what's wrong with your legs? Why you didn't? You know what I'm saying? It's right next to you. You know, and I'm like, stop talking back. You know what I'm saying? Do what I ask. Or, you know, I tell him to do something. He like, why? Or, he, you know, he want to respond. So he not doing it because I told him. You know what I'm saying? And so I like that, but it'd be like she said, like, maybe you got too much of one.
My baby.
Like, I think my baby. Back in the day, we couldn't say that shit to our parents.
So this brings up another, like, form of conflict in between, like, that, like, taking on those things of like what your parents and like really trying to be and what trying to be in the space with it. Because my son is that way too. My son will, which it requires you to confront some things about yourself because it is like, why am I asking him to come to get this remote? That's right here.
I am right here. It makes sense. And I'm like, okay, so as I said, some stuff be valid. But like, my response is because I told you. Because that was my parents' response to everything.
Right.
Why we gotta go to church?
I
told you. Why we gotta sit on the second row? I told you. Why I gotta be on the praise team, step team? You know what I'm saying?
Because
like,
I told you.
Because I told you.
It's not about you.
So I didn't get an answer. And I felt like I'm not required to answer him. But I am. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, he has a voice. You know, and he's been knowing that since, and you know I love him regardless, and I think like he be using me. You know,
well, you know what? I think that's aside from his voice. He just because you be putty sometimes.
I think definitely, but I think when it comes to like my children having a voice, like some people can see and view it as disrespect because they're what they're not used to. Like my daughter said, well, no, I don't want to eat that. I want to eat this. Like what?
That's my son. Yeah,
you gonna eat whatever I could.
Yeah, like she could choose. Yes, like I remember.
I can't even make.
I remember when somebody came over my house. I don't remember when or who it was, but they said, "Why is all your boxes of cereal open?" I said, "Because my kids have a choice to choose which box."
Yeah, that was a thing.
Like, God, what? I'm not gonna open up one box. It's no.
Finish that whole box.
No, you want okay? You get that. Like what? No, this is what I brought it for them to eat. It don't matter when they want to eat.
No, that was a
It don't matter. We do that all the time. We do that all the time. Me and my kids do it all the time. But even for that, for example, it's like people look at it like, what? Show my kids, you gonna eat what I open, or you gonna, you know? So it's like that difference. It's like. Then it's like that conflict with that person. Like, well, I'm not judging your parents, and like, you know,
I just don't understand how people do that. Like, no, I'm saying as far as like, because with my son, I learned very early on, like I couldn't be the parent like, you gonna eat what I serve.
Yeah,
because my baby would go home to sleep starving.
Yeah,
and have no care about it. Yeah. Like it wouldn't affect him, and the next day he'll be still standing on like, no, I'm not eating. I'm not eating that. Yeah, and then he will go the next day starve and not eat anything. So I adjusted to that. So I don't even see how people will be like, you're gonna afford, like kids will just be scared and eating.
And another thing with conflict, like growing up, like if it was an argument or a problem in the house before we went to an event, like before we went to church or before we had to show up somewhere as a family, as a whole, you know what I'm saying? You was expected to, you know, put that face on. Don't go in there, don't say nothing. Fix your face. You know, you was to lie like we one big ass happy family, and then you was like you wasn't. You know what I'm saying? We, you know, it's hell at home right now. You going, it's so much stuff going. You not happy. You know what I'm saying? But you got to get up every day and act like you are. You know what I'm saying? You got to put it on the face for the kids. You know what I'm saying? It's just the many faces that you seen growing up that, you know, our parents did. You know what I'm saying? Just to hide what was really going on. How much sweeping, you know.
Can you do?
If they was just honest with us, we would know how to control certain situations because they were going through it.
We could have learned so much.
You know, we could have knew like, you going through hell, this is going going on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We could have avoided growing up, but
Yeah.
it was all swept. It was all made to be like it was polished.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was all made
And
to
it was
seem like
dirty all
everything
under
was
that.
good.
It was
And
dirty.
you know, shit was going to hell. You know, so I try not to do that with my
Yeah.
son. I try to be real transparent with him. You know, where we at in life, like as far as like relationships, people with family, you know what I'm saying, just so his expectation won't be this white picket fence.
Yep.
Because it's not, you know.
Yeah.
Most people in America is going through a lot of shit right now, but it look good. It's gonna look good on the
'Cause it
internet.
look polished, just like it did for the
you know,
NF
it
draft.
look good on paper. People life really look good on
Yeah.
paper, but it's not.
It's not.
You know?
Not.
And that's my thing with just the difference when growing up, you know, all that it was made. We had a new rug every week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything was just swept. And now it's just like the new generation of even like with music or even with artists it's about exposing.
Yeah.
And now that stuff is coming to truth and things are getting exposed, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Now
love
it's
it,
called
though.
conflict.
Yeah,
You know,
I love it,
now
though.
it's called conflict.
You know, we are in the age of Aquarius, and Aquarius is about exposing and learning, and like everything coming to the forefront. Like everything is just like out.
You
in the
gotta
open.
face it.
You
You
gotta
can't-
face
you
it.
have to face
and I
it.
love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's uncomfortable
Yeah.
as hell.
That's what I think
Yeah,
this year is.
yeah.
It's going to be
Yeah.
very uncomfortable, but it's like it's a lot of
good for your
exposing.
growth. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of rug lifting. It's just because everything, even in politics, whatever, you know, everybody is just constantly just sweeping or constantly turning a blind eye or knowing something and not speaking up. And
Yeah.
I feel like everything is going to get exposed. Like the shit with Diddy.
Yeah.
Tubi was on that shit fast. Tubi got a whole
making a
series
movie. They had a
of
series?
Diddy on there. Like
Yeah, TMZ, I think, got a
Surviving
movie.
Diddy or something. And it's on Tubi, like Surviving Diddy. Like,
Damn.
so, you know, they making money off exposing this nigga. But all
I
of them
need to
knew,
tell my story.
but everybody knew this nigga
everybody
was a
knew.
monster before, you
But
know.
so then that goes back to what we were saying earlier as far as like this conflict being handled in a way that is only benefiting someone, like someone
yeah.
is making
If
something
they
off of
hurt
it,
you.
versus conflict being handled in a way that can be healing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, like
Yeah.
you know, for the community, for the whole, for the relationship,
And
for
to
people that we're
move on.
yeah,
It's
to like
much needed.
growth,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because this doesn't provide
Yeah.
in the way that it's being done in certain spaces. I mean, there's some lessons that can be taken out of it, but it doesn't necessarily like provide like this growth that you want, because it's just like the next person just like, okay, just don't make sure you just don't get caught. Like just don't like you don't want to be
It's not
exposed.
addressed.
It's not really like addressed
But
because
some conflict is necessary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Some
conflict is definitely necessary.
It's necessary, and it's like it's needed. You
It's
know,
most
conflict
definitely
is definitely
needed,
needed
yeah.
because you're not going to agree with everybody. You're not going to be on the same page with everybody, and
Yeah.
you know, like it's uncomfortable. And like I said, like uncomfortableness, like that shit, it's uncomfortable, but it's necessary. You know, so
It's a
just
learning
like-
experience.
and
Yeah.
it's growth.
You learn from the other person. You also learn yourself through that process.
Mhm.
Like, okay,
You
I
learn-
handled it this way, or I
this is
handled
that's
it.
a big that
Yeah.
you learn yourself.
Yeah.
Like you get robbed if you don't like take time to address
So,
conflict,
yeah.
because you don't
Yeah.
learn parts of
Yeah.
yourself.
And
right?
if you
For
don't
the growth.
experience it, how
yeah.
do you know how to react if
Yeah.
it comes up
Yeah.
again? you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So instead of avoiding conflicts, it do like I can see the addressing it head on. You know, I can also see how people avoid it because it is uncomfortable, but it does needs to be
Yeah.
addressed.
Yeah.
The
It
rug
has
do
to.
need to be
It
lifted.
need to be
on
lifted
conflict.
up.
Those
Yeah.
conversations, those uncomfortable conversations,
Yeah.
need to be had.
Conflict creates growth. I was saying
And it creates
peace.
secret animosity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You be having people who judge you or don't know you, or because because it's conversation that's not had, or a feeling or a vibe that they got that wasn't addressed, and
And
now become conflict.
People just want to keep the peace a lot of times, but peace isn't the absence of conflict.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
like
that can
it's
be
not
peace.
that. Yeah, it can
Yeah,
be
that
peace,
can
like
be peace.
right, because I was giving an example of like we think being in nature is peaceful, right? But in all of nature, there's conflict. There's
Yeah.
conflict happen
Yeah.
by that babbling brook. There's some fish eating some other fish right now, like while you out there laying out.
eating shark,
He's
you know
right,
what I'm
peaceful.
saying?
So conflict is definitely necessary in order for us to grow and change and learn about ourselves and learn
Yes.
about each other, right? Like that, there's strength in that, a lot of times. And I know that we, highlight the things that we experienced in our childhood, and it's lifting the rug series with things that maybe our parents chose to do and how they. But even that has a sourcing to it too. Like sometimes they did out of like necessity at that time, or they did out of habit, or they did out of those poor resources that they had, or they did out of ignorance and they didn't know. Like they out there fumbling too. They just didn't know either.
Yeah,
but
lost.
The crazy thing, like growing up, I used to think like, as a kid, like think that parent, once you become an adult, you know the things, but you don't know nothing.
You don't know nothing.
You still be trying to figure out.
That's the whole part. I feel like when it comes to parenting, that's when you're supposed to be taught.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not being taught those things at your young age. And then
and the conflict
as
teaches.
you growing, you as an adult, you still learning. You have to grow. And then you have these other people around you that you have to like try to get to grow with you, because you like, shit, I'm trying to figure this out with you. Let's do this together.
I think our parents wasn't as strong as we are.
Yeah, that's something I talked about last
week. We
week.
didn't have a voice. Imagine their voice.
When they was kids. Yeah, no, they had
no
no voice.
It was even worse than what the voice we had. And so you do stuff out of habit, and you do what was done to you.
Yeah.
And like, it didn't take me until I had to really sit and think like, okay, I understand a little, why this happened, why they was like this, or why this continued to happen. But once you know it's wrong, once you get understanding that it's wrong, why not change?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I don't
You didn't know they like the change
and I
part.
don't understand. It's because it wasn't changed. It was like they continue to do it knowing that it was wrong.
Well, we can talk about that. We can, as on this Lifting the Rug series too, like just about like even that fear of change, even whether the change is good for you or not.
It needs to change.
Yeah. But you was about to say something.
What do y'all think is, I guess, the healthy age in this day and age, considering the world where it is right now, to have kids, bring kids into the world?
When you're financially stable.
To be honest, I say no. Don't bring no more kids into this world. No, remember we were talking about that. Listen, this is what I'm gonna say respectfully. So for those women that choose abortions, that is a way to be a good parent. I bullcrap you not. Only because when it comes to this society, it's like, if you know you're not prepared, do not do that.
Yeah.
Like with the much support that we claim that we get,
you don't have it
from these people around us. Oh, when that baby get here, and then you don't have it, and then now you're lost.
Yeah.
In this
I think to entertain maybe the idea of the age thing, I would say 35. Over 30. Yep. I would say 35.
I had one kid.
Yeah,
over one kid, and I hit him at 28.
Yeah,
and I think 30. That was like,
But I think that you're ready. Because it's not finances, because you ain't gonna never. It's always gonna be like finance.
Mentally, you never.
Mentally, you're not gonna be.
Mentally, you will not be.
I would say more so like like emotionally.
There we go.
Like that you're able to. Like emotionally, you are like you have some awareness of self.
I was about to say that.
Like you're able to regulate your emotional state.
To say that you'll be there's a point that you'll be financially or mentally ready is almost to say that I have the parenting handbook.
Yeah.
What I said earlier, if it's a book about parenting, it will be blank, baby. You write your own.
Yeah, because the kids were mentally like
you write your own.
Some things be like, okay, that's predictable, but some other things like, what? Like, I wasn't prepared for you to ask me that question.
And those have happened so many times.
But emotionally, I think like if you're emotionally aware, you were able to regulate because your kids will push your buttons.
Understand that it is still growing. Like you don't know it all. Like when it comes to parenting, and that's what you remember that Matilda, like you're big. I mean, I'm big. You're small. You're little. Like in that thing, it's like if you feel like you know it all, how can you do anything?
And that's right. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So being a parent, as in like I just said, I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying.
Like
it's a process.
With the world and the way it is today, as far as the issues stem from 70-80% of the people having kids way too young before they was prepared and didn't have a village.
Yeah, kids is raising sisters and brothers.
That's the other answer.
I felt like I was.
That's the other answer.
Before I had a parent, I felt like I was.
That's the other answer when you're ready. Yeah, when you got a village.
I had to watch my siblings. You know what I'm saying? Being the older, so it was like you was forced, and so it's like there's no real age because it's like parents take the childhood from kids when they do that because they're in the house with the siblings, they're in there cooking the food, they're in there helping with the homework, allowing the parent to go to work and do this. So you force early, what I'm saying, to be an adult. And then, so if you're going to give me these responsibilities, I might as well go out and do what I think going to make me feel or be an adult. And I feel like that's why we have early pregnancies, early this, because the child is already forced, or, in the environment where they're choose to be an adult role. And so that is something they're choosing. Okay, well, I'm going to go out and choose to have sex. I'm not choosing to watch my sister every day. So I choose this. And then you got to, now we got a young pregnancy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, let's normalizing washing your own kids. Like, this is my sister. This is my brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, watch, you be at home with it. So, like,
Your shit, watch me.
So our
your child
teenagers
too.
can enjoy, you know what I'm saying, their childhood and be a child and not feel forced, you know what I'm saying, to do something that they feel is going to make them an adult. So that's my
Good
stance on
conversation.
that.
Good conversation.
Yeah, that's definitely,
Yeah. So conflict is good.
Conflict can be
Hold
good.
space for it.
Hold
Hold space
space
for
for
it.
it.
There's growth in it, right?
Grow.
It's
Grow.
healing in it.
It's healing.
Yeah.
It's peace. It's all of that.
So
It's
it's
understanding.
so let's handle that conflict before we
It's
like, lead to this
understanding.
point of exposure, right?
Yeah,
We wanna
to
do
the
that.
point of exposure.
To the point of exposure.
Yeah. So
I liked it. I liked it.
how can I look at them? Y'all
Okay.
been quiet today. Like what's
Yeah. It probably was
How
Yeah.
y'all doing?
I'm like, how can I?
We appreciate y'all.
Yes,
for
thank y'all for
joining
tuning in. Yes,
We
it's
love
been
you.
a real
Thank
laid
you.
back day. I feel.
Yeah. Good evening, Grace.
Good evening, guys.
That's the person's name. She said good evening. That was the only.
We were talking.
That was the only comment that we had. I'm just looking like, and I'm like, where's T at? Like, what's been? But we appreciate you guys for
Thank y'all always for
tuning in. If the conversation was good to you, let us know.
Yes, and we have
How do you
Mice's
meet us?
podcast
how
page
to
is up.
conflict and things like that. So, yeah,
We got our page, so
Yeah.
we are sending out invites. Please like, share, support us, as we will support those who support us.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been nice, America.
It's been
It's
nice.
been good. This is my sis podcast.
You are now tuned in to 7 Mile Radio.